Just when you thought things could not get worse when it comes down to Daniel Cameron, he definitely can always pull one out of his ass. So now he came up with this Kentucky task force where it recommends warrant changes after the death of Breonna Taylor. So it's not okay to give Breonna Taylor her day in court, but it's okay to use her death to come up with some type of reform when it comes down to warrants. Wow, Daniel Cameron, you are lower than trash. So this story came out on NPR. Wow. Kentucky is another step closer to implementing search warrant reforms in wake of the death of Breonna Taylor, who was killed by Louisville police using a no-knock warrant to enter her home last year. The search warrant task force, assembled by State Attorney General Daniel Cameron, unveiled a series of recommendations in its final report on Tuesday. The guidelines include additional training for officers. You cannot train anything out of these officers. I wish y'all would stop coming in the media saying that same tired ass line. You ain't gonna train nothing out of these cops. A centralized electronic database that allows the public to track the number of warrants executed in each zip code and other safety provisions. Together, they establish best practices for the effective and safe execution of search warrants, Cameron said. How about giving Breonna Taylor her day in court, just like anyone else in this country? At the end of the day, why would anybody care about these reforms and there is no justice for Breonna Taylor? From the beginning, the goal of the task force has been to conduct a top to bottom review of the search warrant process and to make recommendations for establishing Kentucky as a national model for how search warrants should be pursued and served, the Attorney General said in a statement. He added the final recommendations reflect law enforcement roles in advancing public safety and acknowledge the personal protections guaranteed by our Constitution. Although you trampled on Breonna Taylor's constitutional rights. Wow. The task force includes the chairs of the Kentucky Senate and House committees, two representatives appointed by the Chief Justice of Kentucky Supreme Court, police members and members of the Kentucky NAACP, and three citizens appointments. Do you know how many citizen review boards there are in this country? And it never seems to make a difference when it comes down to cops murdering black men primarily. You got all these review boards, and it makes zero difference. Oh boy. Now, we know the officer lied to get the warrant in the first place, and of course, there's no punishment for him. Officers should also consider the most appropriate time of the day for executing a search warrant, according to the task force, and in circumstances when a child may be impacted by a search warrant. Child Protective Services should be notified. In Taylor's case, the no knock narcotics warrant that officers used to enter her home was obtained by a police detective who had not confirmed with the Postal Service that a suspected drug dealer Taylor's former boyfriend was having packages sent to Taylor's home, which they found nothing. They found nothing. And they didn't even find anything over at her boyfriend's apartment at the time they arrested him. They found no drugs at either location. In the early morning hours of March 13th, police pounded on Taylor's front door before bursting into her apartment where she was sleeping alongside her boyfriend. Believing an intruder had broke in, he fired a single shot at one of the officers. They opened fire, shooting 32 bullets into the home and struck Taylor, killing her. Why would you have to shoot that many rounds into somebody's house? No-knock warrants have since been banned by Louisville Metro Council. Two officers who were involved in Taylor's death were fired in January. However, no one was directly charged in her death. Yes, because you got Daniel Cameron here acting as a guard dog to make sure no cop goes down legally for the death of Breonna Taylor. So this man ain't doing his job at all. He's not. If you're not going to hold someone accountable when they shoot 32 bullets into someone's apartment, then you ain't no good as an attorney general. What is your point in being there? Look like your point in being there is just to protect, people that look like your wife and no one else. But y'all, please tell me what you think about Daniel Cameron and his lame ass task force for search warrants, but he refused to give Breonna Taylor her day in court. And we know he lied about the grand jury, um, talking about they didn't hear the case because they were there for something else. And then he tried to imply they didn't want to hear her case. They wanted to hear the case of the neighbor above her. And even they protested this man, saying he was lying. What a scumbag. But y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.